Billy boy. I'm a 23-year-old recent college graduate who's dealing with a bit of depression. Having never dated, finding it hard. Did I write this? Having never dated, finding it hard to get a job, and having no actual goal in life, I'm finding it hard to keep motivated to do anything. I normally eat well and go to the gym, but that's the only healthy habit I have. I want to be enjoying my 20s, but because I've accomplished nothing, not even having formed any relationship with any girl, it's been hard to smile and remain positive. Do you get into these sorts of funks, and what advice would you have to get out of it? Any advice from you or the lovely Nia would honestly make a major impact on my life. No pressure. Yeah, buddy. Jesus. Yeah, I literally could have written that at 23 years old. I was basically in the essentially the same boat. Had no fucking... I was still living at home. Had no girlfriend. I commuted all the way through college. I didn't have any college friends. Never went to any of those parties or any of that type of shit. And I was actually flailing, wondering what the fuck I was going to do with my life. I tried sales. I worked in warehousing. I had a job at a dental office, and none of it was making me excited about going to work. And I started thinking like, oh, fuck, am I going to be that guy? That guy that just does a fucking job that he hates. And I don't know. I just started every day, I don't know, just trying to think what I wanted. What did I want? And don't look at it with judgment or think that something's impossible. Like whatever you want to do, to be sitting there thinking like, oh, I can't do that. I could never do it. You can. You can. I am an absolute moron. And if I can make something happen, you definitely can. I would say that. I don't like how you laughed when I said I'm a moron.
You are a moron, but I think you just gave really, really perfect advice. That's great advice. You got to figure out, what is it that you really, really enjoy doing? And maybe there's a way to actually make a living at it, like Bill.
Yeah, this is what you just start doing it. You just start fucking doing it, and then eventually it turns into your job. And all you do is just, I think what most people do is like, say they're thinking like, I don't know, pick a job that's fucking, you're like, oh, I can never do that. I'll just keep it in entertainment. Say you wanted to get into like broadcasting, I guess, announcing games, and you start thinking like, oh my God, I want to announce NFL games. How the fuck do I get there? So you start, I would think you'd start doing high school games, Little League games. I would do anything. I would just, if no one was hiring me, I would just show up at Little League games with a fucking sport coat on and set up a table, and I would just start doing it. I would go down to pick up basketball games.
That's not creepy at all.
And I would just start doing,
just showing up at the little kids' game like, here I am.
I know, because there's pedophiles. There's always been pedophiles. What am I? And here I am. I'm going to what? Start molesting a kid as everyone's sitting there? I would just start doing the game like it was a Major League Baseball game. The parents would love it. You could go down to like the basketball courts. I would just anything just to be doing it. That's like your open mics. I'm not getting paid. I'm learning how to do this shit. And then I don't know. Start taking some classes at a broadcasting school. Every part of your day becomes announcing,
Right.
When I had day jobs, I used to sit there doing the job, and I would be any funny fucking idea I had, I would just write it down, and then I would go try it out somewhere, and I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and you just start marching towards it, and you don't look at like, well, hey, I'm doing high school games, I'll never get to the NFL. Like most people don't get there because they want it in a week. Dude, that fucking helicopters are going to fly into the fucking house around here. They're crazy. I don't know if you guys could just hear that shit. You just, every single day, you just, I don't know. Look at this stupid ass podcast. I just kept doing it every Monday, and all of a sudden, I got a bunch of listeners.
I'm curious about, because I'm trying to, I'm always trying to read between the lines. And he goes, I normally eat well and go to the gym, but that's the only quote unquote healthy habit I have. What does that mean?
Well, I don't want to start.
Why that got? I'm just curious as why that got thrown in there, because I don't know if that means that there's things that he's doing that he is not healthy, because the rest of it doesn't really. I don't know. I normally eat well and go to the gym. That's the only healthy habit I have. Like it's like the only thing like habit I have. It's just like working out and going to the gym, but I don't have any other like things. But, like just the healthy in quotes is it concerns me a little bit.
Well, I think he's really hard on himself. So he's got to lighten up on himself. So even when he's doing something, even when he's doing something positive, he still puts it in quotes. He won't give himself credit for that. It sounds like maybe you had some negative parents who told you the world was a lot more difficult than it is. I'd also work on like just paying attention to the thoughts in your head. That's how, because I was never clinically depressed, but I had definitely bouts of depression and funks and that type of thing. I felt like shit yesterday when I was watching the game, and I did 100 push-ups in 3 sets. Mm-hmm. Okay, like I actually dropped down. I would have had a heart attack.
100 in a row.
No, I did set of 3, and I got to 100. 105 actually. Sets of 35. All right, you folks. No, but I immediately felt better.
Right.
I immediately felt better. So.
And also, you're 23 years old. You have a long, long time to figure out what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And it's probably going to change several times. So maybe you just graduated college and you're like, oh, I majored in business. I don't want to get into business. I really want to, be a veterinarian or something like that. And I think that Bill's right. You should really...
Then how would I do it? I would immediately start picking up roadkill off of the side of the road. And I'd try to see if I could bring it back to life.
Try reviving it. Try reviving that dead cat on the freeway.
No. You're fine. You're 23. You got your whole life ahead of you. You know what could be worse, dude? You could be in a relationship and you fucking knocked her up. And now you're tied to her for the rest of your fucking life. And then you got to go get a job at some place you don't want to work at. So the fact that you don't have anything going on in your life is fucking awesome. There's nothing holding you back. You actually get to decide. You know how many people would want to be in your fucking position? 23, no girlfriend, no fucking mortgage, no bullshit, none of that stuff. It's just you. Dude, fucking, figure out what you want to do and go after it. And tell that negative thought you had to go fuck yourself. There you go. That was like a Dr. Phil episode. There you go. That solves all your problems. When we come back, I yell at more men. Career advice. Dear Belexia Burr. Oh, that's a great one and accurate. I've been a high school teacher for the past 7 years, but my dream is always to become a professional writer. Oh, that's awesome. Dude, that would be a great life. You molded some young minds and then you became a professional writer. So far, I don't have a teaching job for the upcoming school year. I'm considering no longer having my own classes and instead becoming substitute teacher for the school year. This would give me more time to write and submit my work to literary agents and hopefully get a big publishing deal. I've had some success so far with writing, a published short story and a nomination for a literary prize. Dude, what the fuck are you waiting for? How many more signs of land do you need? This is like Columbus when he fucking sailed over and he saw some tree branches and a couple of birds. You're going to get there. The problem is that my wife and I still have a lot of student debt that we're repaying, and substitute teaching doesn't pay nearly as much as being a regular classroom teacher. I've put off my dream of becoming a writer for years, and I think now may be the time to metaphorically push in all my chips. I might lose, but I might win. No, dude, there's no way you lose when you go after a dream. You don't. It always leads to something better. Always. All right? Dude, fucking substitute teach and be a fucking Uber driver. All right? And, eat at home more. Starving artist. I slept on a futon until I was 36. I don't fucking regret any of it. I told you that story a zillion times in this podcast. I was dating this woman, and I said I had a spot I had to go do, and it paid $8 at the comic strip during the week. Tuesday night, I went down there, and I came back. I tried out a new bit, and I was doing and afterwards, I was at home in my apartment, and I was doing this silly dance in the kitchen because I had a new bit, and I was psyched because I had gone through this period where I wasn't coming up with any new material. And she was laughing, and then she got a sad look on her face, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "I wish I had a job where I only got paid $8, yet I came home and I did a silly dance in the kitchen." And I never forgot that, dude. So that, you know what I mean? You're going to have to suffer a little bit. But substitute teach, Uber. Dude, you got a short story published and you got a nomination for a literary prize. Come on, man. You know what you're supposed to do. I don't even have to go through the rest of this fucking thing. He goes, all right, I'll get to the whole thing. He said, part of me fights against the dream and insists that I have to do the responsible thing and keep teaching. Fuck all of that. Fuck all of it. The responsible thing to do is to listen to your heart. My question for you, either in your career when you were trying to build an audience and make it as a stand-up comedian, did you struggle with the financial strain of chasing your dream? Did you ever have to choose between a good-paying job or doing stand-up? How hard was it to work at a shitty job just so you could chase your dream? Did you ever think that maybe you were wasting your time? Any advice or encouragement? I think I answered all of those. It wasn't hard to work at the shitty job because I was always thinking about the exciting job I was going to do afterwards. And every night that I just went up on stage, and if it just went moderately okay, I couldn't believe it. I have to be honest with you, like, I couldn't fucking believe that I was actually doing it. That I had a dream and I was making it happen. And I still remember the first time I really went on stage and I actually got in the zone for what was considered a zone at the level comic I was. And I only was in the zone for about 8 seconds. I was at Nick's Comedy Stop in Framingham on Route 9. It doesn't even exist anymore. And I just got on this roll of laughter that I was actually able to pause and fucking be in the moment and enjoy it rather than being like, oh my God, what's my next joke? What's my next joke? And that fucking feeling can carry you through a fucking shitty job for a week. Chasing to get back on stage to feel that again. And then the first time I got $5 for gas money, Freddie Stone. I've told all these stories. Freddie Stone, the excitable boy. That's what he went by. I did a room for him and he gave me $5 gas money. I'd probably spent 10 to get there and I couldn't fucking believe it. And I was like, I did that and they gave me this. I couldn't fucking believe it. At what point, just listen to the sound of my voice as I'm talking about this. Have you ever had that level of excitement doing any other fucking job? That's what it's like when you go after a dream job. So nothing is worse than not going after it. Okay? And doing the responsible thing and all of that type of shit. And then you sit in your house with all your responsible stuff. Fuck all of that. Financially, I did not do the responsible thing. And yeah, I've said all these stories. I used to eat spaghetti every fucking night with a can of fucking Prego and then a bunch of bread. And I would just fill myself up on that. Or I'd go to Denny's and I'd get the 5 stack of pancakes and just pour it in my stomach like concrete so I wouldn't have to eat the whole fucking day and do stand-up in some cafeteria at some fucking college. And quitting never entered my mind. I just kept trying to get better at it because as bad as some of those gigs were, the great ones were way better. So you'll have all of these stories just in a literary way. So without a doubt, you have to fucking do it. And I can tell you right now, man, like with what you've already accomplished, like to me, I would be thinking like I can affect way more people and make way more fucking money and live a fucking dream being a professional writer. That'd be unbelievable. So not to say there's anything wrong with teaching, but if teaching isn't your dream, that's just the job you're doing. So I'm not shitting on teachers out there. It's one of the most underrated jobs and, of course, most underpaid jobs ever. I'm just trying to amp you up here. So go out and fucking do it and email me when you get published because I think you're gonna. I don't think you know. Look, if you're up against a bunch of other shit writers and you won one thing, but you got 2 things going on here, all right? Give me a fucking break. All right, you just need to push yourself out of the fucking bush. Not the bush, the nest. The bush. That was oddly gross.